order. Pledge of allegiance. Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And could we have a roll call?
Alderwoman Dobbs. Here. Alderman Peggy.
Here.
Alderman Donovan.
Here.
Alderman Bennett.
Here.
Alderman Eidman. Alderman Rainey.
Here.
Alderman Prince.
Here.
Alderman Steiger.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Donovan, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Do we have an approval of the agenda?
I'll move to approve. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Do we have a presentation of words?
We don't have any awards. We do have a personal appearance.
Okay. Yep. Personal appearance.
Good evening, Alderman.
I guess everybody kind of knows it's that time of year again for our annual fundraiser. And I was going to hand out colored ones, but I think Pam was nice enough to make some copies and stuff, and you got them already, so great. Just wanted to kind of give heads up again and make sure that you guys are all okay with what we got going on again. Basically, it's going to be the same as last year. The way it's looking, it's going to be possibly a little bit more expanded than last year again. We're pretty well sold out of all our campsites, and the Fair Board okayed the fact of, where the old Riverview Manor, they're going to turn that into some more camping area for us too. So we've got actually a lot more camping going on up there then, so that'll work out good. Jurda Pet Committee is all on board then also, so I guess just wanted to make sure that it's all okay for you guys that we have the non-sticker like we've had in the past. Okay, that'll be good. I did talk with Kathy again to make sure we're not crossing paths for her event that's that day. And I know last year it got a little bit crazy because they added another house on their group of houses, and it ended up being kind of en route to where we were going. So this year we're definitely going all Bloomsdale. So when we leave town, we'll be leaving town going north out Sugar Bottom. And then when we come back, we'll be coming in, what is it?
Creek Road.
The Creek Road. Yeah, Creek Road. So we'll be kind of staying out of her neck of the woods, so we shouldn't have any issues there. We do, just to let you guys know, that any of our buggies, whenever they sign up, after they show the proof of insurance and all that, they'll have green plastic ties on it. So if you see any of them with this, it's with our crew. If you see anybody riding around without it on there, and it'll be on the driver's side, right on the roll bar, I guess. Okay, so if you don't see that and somebody's doing crazy, make note of it, I guess.
Right?
Hopefully it's not us. We've been knocking on woods. We haven't had any issues, I don't think, unless you guys know of any. Everybody's good with everything?
Is there a parade through downtown?
On our end, no. There'll be, most of the campers come in on Thursday night or Friday, and then pretty well they'll be up at the fairgrounds the whole time. Mm-hmm. They will be, since they're down, camping at the Moses Austin. Mm-hmm. They will be some that's going up that direction. I do have city maps that we give out to everybody. It's in our packet. So everybody that goes there, they'll actually get a map and see where, Show Me Shop or any of the other shops are and their hours, so that when they're here, they can actually go around and check them out. And I know that, the Old Brick and them all are very happy to see it, because we pretty well filled that place up a lot of times, so it works out good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you need, anything different.
I know on Saturday they have the grand promenade, and the entrance, or the opening ceremony is like 10:30.
Yeah.
On Saturday morning.
And all of our stuff's going straight
Just
the
the
opposite
most Austin
direction.
people, but
Yeah.
a few quads.
Now, aren't they closing off some of Main Street, or are they not?
I don't know what time. They will. They normally close off one block, but I don't know. We haven't got any street closures yet from them yet. I don't think so. I know. So
Okay, I thought that it was going to be kind of down there by
it is.
Chris's Shop, okay. We'll make sure to let them know and they can go around the backside or whatever if need to be. We do have music up there. Southern Gypsy's going to be playing, from probably after the auction of about 6:30 till maybe 11 or something like that too. And if you guys don't mind, we'd appreciate it, Jason, if you don't mind having some people walking through the crowds and stuff.
Absolutely.
Make sure. Because we do have ATMs and stuff up there. We got 2 ATMs that's up there for the weekend. And then, of course, the camping.
Okay.
What is the noise ordinance in the city for outdoor bands? What time, is there a shut-off time for outdoor music?
I don't think we have one by ordinance.
We don't.
And I'm not for sure. Our event is usually over a lot earlier than the fairgrounds, when they have their bands. Because usually after our event, everybody's pretty well tired after the auction and everything else that's going on. So usually by 11 o'clock, it's getting pretty quiet up there. But I don't even know, does the fairgrounds have any kind of time frame on it? I have no idea.
We've never had, there's nothing said on the city side of it.
Yeah, that is county.
It's in the city limits, but as far as the city side, we don't have anything by ordinance set.
Okay. Any other questions, or is it all a go, I hope? Because we already got it going.
Chip, I'd like to
Sure.
congratulate you and your wife on your recent chamber award and stuff. I think it was well deserved, and you guys do a great job and put a lot of work into it. And a very worthy cause.
We appreciate it. And it's one thing that if you've never been around special needs, you guys need to do it more often because it'll make you want to do a lot of fun things. So it's neat. But thank you. Appreciate it. All righty. So everything's good?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to start putting up signs. Thanks, guys.
Good luck, Jim.
Oh, by the way, this is Leroy Willett, one of the main coordinators that helps make this happen too. So.
Brings us to the city administrator's report.
They have a updated report at your seat. Just to let you know about item 2, I haven't sent it in yet. I was going to do that, and when I typed this, I planned on it. I got another letter of support from the schools. However, it doesn't look like this is going to be approved where we want to put the sidewalk on South 4th Street. So we'll submit just to see what happens. It doesn't cost us anything. More than likely it'll get rejected. This year there are more applications than there are funding, but we'll know better next time that we're probably going to have to look at keeping the sidewalk on the west side of the street or the American Legion side or the inner side of that curve because the MoDOT engineers don't like the amount of driveways that we'd be going through and all the stormwater. So we don't have a price for that. When we found out that they weren't going to approve what we were submitting, we didn't have time to draft any new plans, and the engineer's on vacation this week, so there just wasn't an opportunity to change that. I don't like and I argued with, or didn't argue, but I discussed what I thought were the legitimate reasons to keep it on the east side of the road, but that doesn't seem to be going to play out well. So
It's just ridiculous.
Seems like we're going to be back to the same thing where the kids will be crossing the street
Yeah,
again.
multiple times now.
Right.
And even a worse place down there
Right.
at that intersection.
Yeah.
So they can put in a light there then? Because does it have a crosswalk there?
So, you mentioned that. Terry and I were kind of kidding back and forth. It's like, well, let's just put in one of those crosswalk lights.
Ugh.
But that's the only thing I can think of to put in there that would protect the actual crossing of the street. Stripes aren't going to do it.
No.
But yeah. So
Happy. What is, speaking of that 4th Street and that bridge, wooden bridge, which was partially destroyed 6 months ago and continues to be partially destroyed. Is there any movement on fixing that?
last we talked with, because it's a Genevieve Park Bridge, last we heard they were still discussing or still talking with insurance or trying to collect the insurance before they went in and did the repairs.
It's not a great look as people come and go through that end of town.
Right.
That's gone on so long. Do we have a time limit on how long it can sit there untended?
I mean, it's access to Genevieve Park. I mean, that's
it's picturesque when it's there. It's the nicest view in town, looking at the Green Tree Tavern across that bridge.
Right.
And that construction tape has been up for 6 months.
I mean, I can try to, get a hold of Jamie after she gets back from vacation, see what, if they've got any time schedule. I've been talking to the contractor that did the original bridge and trying to get him in there to rebuild it, but I can check with him, maybe see if he's had any movement on that, but.
I mean, they're either gonna have to incur this expense themselves or get reimbursed if they get the insurance. I mean, they can still move ahead with repairs, no?
I don't know what their budget's like, so I can't say. But I think they're also looking at trying to do repairs on the whole structure itself because there's been some questions and issues with
But
that.
in the meantime, don't they have some sort of responsibility to clean up the mess that's sitting there now?
We can ask them to do that. I don't know if they were waiting for insurance to come down and look at it or if there was some other issue. I think we cleaned up what was in the creek to make sure that it didn't get clogged down further downstream, but anything else on that?
So I'm sorry, so going back to your TAP grant then, what's the next steps on the TAP grant?
We'll have to wait till next year.
Okay.
That's what, if we get approved, then we're ahead, but my feeling is we'll have to wait until next year, but we'll have it ready and
Okay.
we'll know what we're doing. Main Street will be blocked for the Gravel Classic Saturday. We'll start about 6 o'clock. Race time is 8 o'clock. And then it'll just ramp up in the afternoon. It could be, we're assuming about 5 o'clock, but it could be earlier than that. But there will be traffic blocked from Merchant down to Washington. And item 6, lots of activities this weekend around St. Genevieve. I'm sorry, on the 4th, not this weekend. On the 4th, we've got 3 different activities going on. The F-100 Rally in the Valley, that'll be at the water park. We've got Pioneer Days at Sassafras Creek, so that's at the other end at St. Mary's Lane. And then also downtown St. Genevieve has Build a Bouquet. So that's a store-to-store, get a certificate, and then go to one central location and have somebody build a bouquet. So that'll be a busy Saturday in town. We've seen a lot more students this spring than what we've had in the last few years after COVID. So a lot more school groups are coming in. We're using the park, Lions Club Park more. Talked with that group and they've seen more activity down there. So we're seeing a little more activity as we're getting away from COVID and getting into the summer. But with these activities, we'll probably see a lot more visitors come to town. Any questions about anything on the report?
I have a question about something not on the report. I just read in the paper where the county has noted a decrease in tax revenues starting in March of 22, when it was 105,000, March of 23, 80,000, March of 24, 70,000. And they had no explanation for that. Have we seen anything like that in terms of city taxes collected?
No, our taxes actually have, unusually, they have increased actually, in fact. Our use tax has really jumped up, but we've also seen that in our sales tax. So I don't know, they're apparently being affected by what's in the county, not what's in the city.
With no idea. That's a 30% drop in their revenue, and they had no idea why it was happening.
Right. I mean, there's a way to research it, but that's up to them to figure out how to do that.
A couple of the big wineries are closed now, and I don't know how much they brought in, but
No, maybe the brewery and we figured the Absora gas station. But yeah, they have seen a big drop and we've been lucky enough not to see that. Anything else? Good.
And it really brings us to staff reports. Chief Crum?
A whole lot to report on. I'll be out of the office most of next week with the Chiefs conference, and then we got a jury trial at the end of the week. So I'll be in and out of the office the last 2 days. We are moving forward on the body cameras. They'll start shipping out the first of the equipment the 1st of May. So we should be online with the body camera portion of it pretty quick. They've started installing the digital radios from the first round of grants. Well, actually, they'll start Monday with that. We got a couple more grants that we're working on, both zero match. One of them will be for all new radar units for the patrol cars, which will be about probably a $40,000 grant. So if we get approved for that. K9 vehicle is just about in service. It's here. We're just waiting on the radio install Monday, and then it'll be in service. Once we get that, we'll get the old K9 car ready, and we'll bring it to the board for surplus. Hopes is to sell it as a K9 vehicle, just like it is to another department. It'd be a lot easier than trying to pull all that out and piece it back together as a usable vehicle. That's about it on the police per se.
Give us an update on the garage improvements.
The garage is done for the most part. They're just waiting on the HVAC company to come in and just hook up the ventilation. It's all mounted, just waiting on the hookup, but
It's not done.
I think was the 30th was the deadline.
Yeah,
They were here yesterday and it'll be early next week. They're going to finish the hookup. The last rain, there was no water came in the garage.
Okay.
So we're just waiting on the ventilation side of it now.
When they peeled it back, did they find anything unusual?
No mold, no rot.
Should be enough ventilation in there now.
There should be enough
A lot
ventilation.
of ventilation.
Yes.
Vents everywhere.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Steve?
Evening, everyone. So everyone's got a copy of my report. Touch on a few current things that are going on. In case some of you may know, some may not know, had a small fire in our skid steer the other day. That has since been sent to Luby Equipment in Fenton for repairs and see what caused it. Appears maybe an oil line had broke or and sprayed the exhaust with hydraulic fluid or oil. So it wasn't a maintenance issue. It was just something that happened, I guess. So we are operating with a skid steer. It's a rental from Luby Equipment at the moment. So, and then let's see, we do have a vac truck in service until we receive ours. It's one from the same company, but they're allowing us to use it for the time being until the other one's delivered. So that'll get us by for that. Let's see. Backhoe is back. The newer backhoe is back from service from McCoy. So that it has all the repairs, the upgrades, everything that was needed. So that one is back in service. And last thing, we did bid on a dump truck, like we discussed in the last meeting, though we were outbid and did not get the truck. So, any questions?
Steve, I noticed under the water treatment plant, you had staff is monitoring the water usage. I mean, we're well behind in rainfall and stuff. I mean, are you anticipating problems?
Well, when you're behind on rainfall and the grass starts growing, people start irrigating. They start watering flowers. They start washing carports, driveways. It's just about time to start filling all the swimming pools. So yeah, we monitor it closely at this time of year. All right. Thanks.
Do you have any public comments? Brings us to our consent agenda.
Move to approve.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second.
All those in favor? Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that brings us to old business. Bill number 4615, an ordinance calling for a bond election in the city of St. Genevieve, Missouri, second reading.
Second.
Pam, can we have a roll call vote?
Alderwoman Dobbs. Yes. Alderman Fahy.
Yes.
Alderman Donovan.
Yes.
Alderman Bennett.
Yes.
Alderman Eidman. Alderman Rainey.
Yes.
Alderman Prince.
Yes.
Alderman Steiger.
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no's. Bill number 4615 now becomes ordinance 4536.
Okay, bill number 4616, an ordinance of the city of St. Genevieve authorizing the city administrator to enter into a memorandum of understanding between the city of St. Genevieve, the St. Genevieve County Levy District Number 3, and the Department of Interior, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, second reading.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Pam, can we have a roll call vote?
Alderman Steiger.
Yes.
Alderman Prince.
Yes.
Alderman Rainey.
Yes.
Alderman Eidman. Alderman Bennett.
Yes.
Alderman Donovan.
Yes.
Alderman Fahy.
Yes.
Alderwoman Dobbs. Yes. 8 yes, 0 no's. Bill number 4616 now becomes ordinance 4537.
Thank you. That takes us to new business. Bill number 4617, an ordinance amending the City of St. Genevieve Code of Ordinances for Chapter 140, Purchasing and Competitive Bidding Policy as set forth. First reading.
Move to approve.
Discussion. The only changes on this were the limits on staff purchases.
So we changed, so you had your top amount, which is 15,000, so we did that, and then worked our way down for the other purchases.
Yeah.
And then raised those in according with what we raised to the 15,000, so, yeah.
Second.
Takes us to bill number 4618, an ordinance amending section 210.770 Cemetery Rules of the City of St. Genevieve Code of Ordinances as set forth below. First reading.
So you need to get an approval of that first one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then you can go to the next one.
Need a motion and second on 4617, just have to call the vote.
Yeah.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
That's why I'm a pinch hitter. Any opposed?
Thank you.
Bill number 4618, an ordinance amending section 210.770 Cemetery Rules of the City of St. Genevieve Code of Ordinances as set forth below. First reading.
Discussion. I could compare this to the old one, so the changes on this one, can you give us kind of a,
The main one is item C, where we say one standard grave lot shall consist of the following options. It used to be where you could bury two people, one on top of the other. Can't do that because we're on fill material. So we specified that it could be an individual and a cremation, or how that would work. We are also changing the allowance for cremations to be in a approved container, because some people are putting them into the headstones. So that would give them another option at the gravesite. So that's the change that you see.
Move to approve. Second.
Everyone approved?
Aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Bill number 4619, an ordinance authorizing the mayor into a revised cooperative agreement with the St. Genevieve County for the collection of city taxes. First reading.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I didn't hear, do we have a first?
Yes.
We're good. All in favor?
Yep, all in favor?
Aye.
Or any opposed? Is there any other business?
Just one, happy I received your email back, but I haven't had a chance to read it yet, on, in regards to /, so I haven't had a chance to follow up, but, I feel like I've used email for 20-something years, and I'm pretty capable of using email. I just feel like / has got some nasty firewall and some, security lockdown. It just makes it really hard to do city business with how they have it set up. Because I don't have the problem with any other people sending me emails and stuff. I just want to make it known that they don't make it easy. I know the mayor's had problems with his emails. I think some other aldermen have had some problems with their emails. So they don't make it easy for us to do business with the way they operate. And I know they get locked down and secure, but it doesn't make it easier to do city business.
Right. We've had discussions, and I will pass it all on. I mean, if you want to call and direct, but I'll.
Well, I gotta get it figured out. I can't download, the attachments, so I can't pre-read this stuff.
Do you get the email itself?
I get the email itself and it shows that there's the attachment and the PDF is there. And it asks you to preview it or to download it, and it won't let you do, you can try it either way and it won't let you do it. It fails to preview and it won't let you download it.
So if we send you an email from Pam or from myself and you have an attachment, does that open up okay?
I don't know.
I might test that, to send you something tomorrow.
When it comes from the copier, it hardly ever works when it comes from.
Well, it's coming, I send it to me now, and then I send it to everybody off mine.
Mine will download for a second, it'll pull it up, and then it'll go away and give like a link to it, but,
Mine's done that as well
yeah,
sometimes.
so you can't read it.
Is that on the phone as well? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, all right. Duly noted.
Is there any other business? Do we need a motion to adjourn? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Call this work session to order. Have approval of the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Have a first and second. Do we want to keep them as in order?
Yeah.
We need to move.
I think that'll work the way you are.
Okay. First item we have up.
You call the vote. Yeah, call the vote.
Pardon me?
All in favor?
All in favor? Any opposed?
There you go.
Thank you. First item of business is the Maple Drive water main replacement. I think we have some school officials here.
Well, Dr. Taylor was here prior to this, talking about this a few months back. We're now at that point.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing us some time here this evening. I'm going to step back and allow some professionals to come in and talk about the bids that came in and some numbers, and allow you to ask them some questions. So I'm going to take a
Hello, Colin Rogers, Brock Miller Construction. I am here on behalf of the St. John School District. We met with you all several months ago, and this is a follow-up to that meeting when we approached you originally. As you know, we are now under construction for a new early childhood school. And during design and investigation, we had found that the water supply to the early childhood school was not sufficient for a sprinkler system to protect the kids in school, which led us and the designers a couple of methods to procure and install a sprinkler system to meet code. One of which was a booster pump, a pump house, and a storage tank located somewhere on the school district's property, which is not ideal or cheap. So we reviewed alternate methods and looked about the possibility of upgrading the water line on Maple Street. And so we had Taylor Engineering and KRJ work to design that and estimate it. And we bid that out last month, along with some other bid packages that coincide with it on the school property side, which is site utilities. But we bid out the work to upsize the water main on Maple Street, and along with all the ancillary items like sidewalk patching, driveway patching, asphalt patching, to get the water line up to the standards to provide a working sprinkler system per NFPA code to the new building. And we would like to review those numbers with you and go over them and discuss what options we may have going forward. So I'll let Joe Gable with Taylor Engineering go over those numbers with you guys.
Thanks, Colin. I'm Joe Gable with Taylor Engineering. We did all the design of the water main itself and provided a initial cost estimate when we met with you guys a few months back. I believe Happy probably provided you guys with the actual bid tabulation of bids from all the contractors. Our original estimate was around $175,000 for the water main extension. The bids came in about $233,000. There was a discrepancy in the bid on 8-inch gate valves that would take about $18,000 off that bid. We've only got 2 gate valves in the project, not 12. And then also, after talking with the fire suppression companies, providing them with the flows and pressures of the existing line, when we originally came to you guys, we had talked about doing a 6-inch water main extension. That was in the city's long-term plan, I believe, to make that a 6-inch line. After speaking with the fire suppression companies, they ran some calculations and they said we really needed an 8-inch line to come up to the site to get sufficient flow for the fire suppression system. When the project was bid out, we talked to the low bidder to see if they could give us a price difference in the 6 to 8 inch line, and they said it'd be about $10,000. The 8-inch line was about $10,000 more than if we built it as a 6-inch line. I believe that was mostly just the cost of pipe.
We had about 50 feet more.
Yeah, we had about 50 feet more line once we got the survey done and tied in, figured out exactly where the 8-inch main was that we were tying into. It was about 50-foot additional piping that we had than we had anticipated. Anybody have any questions on the bids or the extension itself?
I do. Just kind of wondering, I was looking basically on your alternate 2 and stuff, sidewalk patchwork with aggregate base and then 6-inch concrete driveway entrance. I realize the one's only $900 and the other one $5,400. I'm just wondering what
that is,
what that has to do with the water line.
So when we originally did the bid, we had kind of done a cost estimate running it outside of the street in the right of way or in the street, thinking we could save on pavement repair and things. Right of way down that street is right on the back of curb, so we really didn't have the option of going outside of the street without acquiring a lot of easements. Still, with going down the center line of the street, there's a lot of service lines that need connected to the new line. And working with Steve Wilson, a lot of those meters are not far off the roadway and where the line's going to be. So he asked that we replace the service lines all the way to the meter. So some of those could require going through a driveway entrance or a sidewalk that'll have to be patched back.
So that's standard practice of any water main that we install like that, because we're coming off of an existing 4-inch cast iron and going to the 8-inch plastic.
Yeah, and I mean you're right there, not far from the meters. That while you're there having that work done is probably a smart thing to do. And it's a unit the bids are all its unit cost. So
Right.
in the end, we'll verify all the quantities and contracts we paid for what they put in.
So just kind of curious, are you talking about on the north side or the south side of Maple?
That would be on the south side, or the north side of Maple, I'm sorry.
And
We're paralleling the so the existing 4-inch line runs right under the curb line, basically the gutter line. So we're just coming over a couple feet from it to the south, and we're just paralleling that line for the most part. There's also an old 2-inch line running down the street, and all that's going to be abandoned in place. The new.
the reason I was asking, because the school owns all the property on the south side, why wouldn't it be
Well,
easier?
so we're doing a sanitary sewer extension on the south side, outside of the roadway, to get service to the school's property. And you got to be 10 feet away from the sanitary sewer line when you're paralleling it. So we'd still be in the street. Being on the north side, most of the connections are on the north side of the street. So that saves with asphalt patching also.
Just from living up in that area all my life, that is one of the nicer streets that we rebuilt years ago, and now here we got to tear it up, and that's my concern and stuff. But
And the patchwork, the way Colin would like to do it is the water main installer is going to come in and install the water main, backfill to the top of asphalt, and it'll be compacted fill, but still you can get some settlement. So let that settle out for a month or 6 weeks, and then they'll come back, remove the rock, put in the 6 inches of concrete, and then top it with 2 inches of asphalt.
because we have a lot of additional traffic up there now with the parking or the pickup thing, so the amount of dust with the neighbors up through there, concerned about all of that. And also, it seems like when we do patching like that, like you just said, there's settlement. I mean, can we get any guarantee that will be?
Well, waiting to patch it, not patching it right away will obviously help. Putting the concrete patch in first will help prevent settling. Obviously, you can't guarantee that there won't be any settling, but
That concrete's not pinned to anything. It's
no,
correct, yeah.
no.
But this is the best way, because the standards are 95% compaction. And so you got 5% there. So over time, it's pretty compacted, but over time, the longer you can let it set, the more it's gonna settle. But that concrete, a lot of people, when they patch, they don't put the concrete underneath it. This really helps kind of bridge the gap with
So
settling.
you were going to put that underneath and then blacktop so many inches over the
2
top.
inches over the top of it.
I'm sure that'll help.
Now, allow if you guys ever want to mill the street or anything, you're not milling concrete down the road.
Yep.
I wasn't aware of that 10-foot thing from water to sewer and stuff.
Sewer, yeah.
Makes sense, though.
Any questions about the construction?
Where actually are you tying in that there's an 8-inch main?
Down at 9th Street.
There are a lot of lines to go around, through, and over,
Yes.
under.
It's a busy area. The old booster station structure's still in, Steve said, so we're hoping we missed all of that.
Yeah.
So
What's the ask?
Well,
that's why I looked at him when I said,
the ask is what we asked last time. If you're able to move it up, it's on your long-range facilities plan. And I know budgets are tight. But if things were able to be rearranged, I know Steve had talked about, and we talked earlier this evening about rearranging some booster pumps on some wells that were recommended, to possibly find the funds to do that. That would be the ask. But that's a big ask, I know.
So is the school district asking the city to pick up the whole tab?
To consider that, to see if it would be possible to rearrange current projects, but nothing's off the table. I would be willing to sit down and discuss what the alternates are. I know I've discussed with the mayor before a detention pond that's going in behind the school district and his desire to partner with the school district because we're involved in that as well. We're on board with that, willing to have discussions about that as well. We want to be good partners with the city. And obviously all of this is going to be turned over to the city. We're putting in a road there that we hope to give to the city as well. And our high hopes ultimately are extending that road out to 32, out to 61.
And just so the board knows, we're holding off this year doing any water main improvements to build up our reserves in the water fund. So we didn't have anything budgeted this year to expend.
Which makes our budget even tighter.
This is on the plan. This was on the plan for this year, but because of the costs, we've been also having to push back some of our projects. But it is on the plan to make this improvement as well as up and around Ridgeway and 9th Street and then back at Virginia. So there was a whole loop that was going to be improved to 6-inch.
As we've navigated Proposition SG and the $20 million bond issue and all the projects we had associated with it, we've already had to cut one because funding wasn't there for it. As costs came in, there was a high school gymnasium on the docket to be completed as well. And the committee got back together and ultimately had to cut that with the hopes that we would get some type of athletic facility at the end of it. But the Early Childhood Center was moved up because that was the important piece from our facilities committee. They identified that. And this is a major hurdle. And I know it's a major hurdle. Our budget's tight. I know your budget's tight as well. We would be willing to sit down and have a conversation about partnering, what's possible. So.
On a little different note, I don't know if the school was aware of the detention situation up there. We had a little curve thrown to us by the Corps of a $47,000 impact fee they're going to add to that project and stuff, which we're struggling anyhow to try to do something with that. And I appreciate the school's help there. And I've actually put a call into Jason Smith's to try to get some relief from the Corps, being it's a federal agency, but I haven't heard back from them. But, and I know you guys are full steam ahead up there. I go past it several times a day, and something needs to happen. But anyhow, I mean, the project's an excellent project. I commend the school district and the board for doing that, but there's a definite need for it. But
Colin, you want to talk about timeline regarding?
Yes, so where we're at right now, this is time sensitive because we are to the point with the structure and completing the shell to where we're going to start mechanical systems and roughing them in overhead. And the risk that we're running right now is we have to, the sprinkler system is a delegated design. So our sprinkler contractor has to design this sprinkler system on the assumptions that he's going to have adequate flows. His mains and tees are being designed assuming that he's going to have that. And we're to the point where we're, in the next 6 weeks, we're going to need to be hanging sprinkler pipe. So with that being said, that's from our standpoint, Brock Miller Construction, keep the project rolling smoothly. We need some direction on which way are we going. Underground storage tank, which is again not ideal, or upgrading the water line.
just out of curiosity, what was that cost to do that, the pump and the storage?
750.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
They had it on the original specs to present to you at the last meeting, and I looked at the number and it frightened me.
Right.
And I didn't want to put it in front of you, looking at a $950,000 number, because that's outrageous. But that's what we would have to do if the line is not updated.
Right.
So that's why it was important for us to come and talk to you. We're trying to be transparent. We're trying to be upfront. Like I said, I understand budgets are tight. But if there can be any consideration on partnering in some form or fashion, the school district is willing.
I'm going to ask Steve a question and stuff. Steve, as far as moving this project up, I think we talked about that briefly. No issues there with other things you had planned to do and now will be put back.
I mean, it's going to cause stress. It's going to cause, we have plans in place for a reason, but I think as far as moving things around, that'd be a sit-down meeting with numbers in front of me before I commit.
I'm going to speak from my seat over there, not the temporary one here and stuff, but as far as moving up, I personally I'm one of 8. I don't have a problem with that. The additional cost is the issue and stuff, and I would hope the school would pick that up somewhere along the line and stuff. But like I said, I'm just one of 8. I recently had to put a new water main extension on my end of the street, and I had to pay for it. So, and I'm not, using that as much of an example, and probably shouldn't have even brought it up. But, we're looking, as you could see earlier in the thing, a $10 million bond issue to try to add some rooftops, add some things that we so desperately need here and stuff. So I don't know where will be stretched the most.
So go ahead, sir.
Does your current stormwater plan include the proposed detention basin that we're looking at?
No.
Because you're in a holding pattern on that, like we're in a holding pattern at this point.
So I don't know what the partnering concept can be, because we don't know if we're going to get that at this point. One would think that, that would, and the possibility of an extension out to 61, we don't know there. The concept of partnering on that would be tremendous, but again, it's a big wish to try to do that. There's a big savings, of course, to the school if you don't have to put in the detention storage tank. You said it was 750 or 950?
For the,
That was for the booster.
that was for the booster pump on the city.
Yeah.
The underground storage tank with a booster pump and a pump house was somewhere between 250 and 300,000. So it is an option, but at the same time, if the school does that, from a construction standpoint, I don't like it because it's added maintenance for the school district and something that go wrong. And, but, from the city standpoint too, you guys don't gain any benefit from that storage tank like your residents would if you upgrade that line.
And it is something that if that line was upgraded in 3 years, then the booster and the underground storage tanks wouldn't be required anymore also.
So the cost of the installation is probably pretty much what we would have paid if we had gone out for bid. The difference would be that we're going from a 6-inch to an 8-inch line. So you do have that difference. But again, we hadn't planned on any projects this year. We can sit down and negotiate with the school if you want us to. We can, any percentage you think they should be responsible for so that they can get the line in as soon as possible.
I guess I'm kind of confused. I thought all commercial site plans had to have stormwater in their plan.
When we originally started, they were talking about the regional basin that was going to be installed downstream of it.
So by ordinance, they would have to contribute what the cost of the stormwater, their cost would have been to install it if they would do something regionally. If they don't install it, then there's a cost involved. So the idea is that they would hold off until we would get that number And then we would be certain that we were going to be able to do the regional detention basin.
I mean, as you know, we don't own the property of the basin. There's been a substantial management change of the people that we met with that seemed pretty favorable. So I'm not sure where we stand there. I've been kind of involved in that project directly, and several homeowners down there also, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen,
I know.
but I see your building going up.
And like I said, we want to be good partners,
Yeah.
and we will continue to be good partners on that end of it. You know, and if we want to go down the road that Happy suggested and sit down and negotiate, or you guys think about a percentage, or if I think Alderman Donovan, you mentioned the original price maybe, and then the school district covering over and above that. We're open to conversations because I think we both benefit if we partner here, rather than the school district unilaterally putting something in that's going to be obsolete in 3 years when you all upgrade the line unilaterally. We're both spending money and neither one of us are benefiting, whereas we could partner together now and both benefit in the situation.
It should benefit everybody up there too. Run that 8-inch line up, we're connecting into the 4-inch on Ridgeway in Virginia. But it should help the entire system up there. Might not make it perfect, but better than what it is now.
If there was ever any expansion, growth going out north, on there, I would assume it would be needed as well if we got another, housing development out that way. Because again, we don't own the property. It's not even in city limits at the moment, but there's only a few places to grow, housing in or outside of city limits, and that would be one of them.
So what is your time frame with the sprinkler?
Good place.
My recommendation is that the board appoint a committee, just a couple of people, myself, the mayor, maybe. We sit
I'll
down
be
with the
glad
school
to.
and their representatives and knock something out and try to get it back to the board by, what's our next meeting? The 9th, May 9th.
So can we, I mean, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm just one of 8. I think it'll be worked out. You know, I think it's, the alternative is not good and stuff. And I think it's, you know, a good way to go. It's cost conscious for everybody, whatever we agree to. It's not a huge amount of money and stuff, but I personally appreciate the schools willing to negotiate.
Absolutely.
So can we show of hands or?
I mean, if you want to form a committee to meet with them next week, Monday or Tuesday, is that what you're looking for?
Yep.
I'm willing to help.
Is anybody else on the board?
Steve is.
The board.
Yeah, Steve, you're required to be.
I volunteered him already.
I'll attend if you need some, board representation.
Okay. Okay. All right, then we'll bring you back, it would be an intergovernmental agreement we'd have to bring back to you at the next meeting.
Okay.
Yep.
I appreciate your time. Thank you for your
Yep, thank
consideration.
you.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
I thought it'd be worse. So that brings us to item 2, real estate matters.
We had one real estate matter come up, and then we had a couple more as the week went on. So my recommendation is to go to closed session pursuant to section 610-021, section 2, leasing, purchasing, or sale of real estate.
Happy, would it make sense to switch 2 and 3 and get 3 out of the way while all the cameras and stuff are on?
If you want to, sure.
Because sometimes we have trouble getting them back on for that last item, so.
I was just trying to get Mark out a little earlier.
I'm fine. If we're paying.
He doesn't mind.
The board agreeable to that?
Move to amend agenda. Section, item 3 to now item 2.
Got a motion in a second. All in favor?
This is a
All
work
in
session.
favor?
Do we do that?
What?
Do we do that during a work session?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, because you approve the agenda by going through that
That's true,
process.
yeah.
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
So Parkland Ready is a cooperative effort between us and St. Francis County, Madison, Iron County. It was put together based on a federal grant, I believe, through USDA or regional rural development. So it's a cooperative to try to pull together the properties that are in these counties that have access to 6755. We're not a metropolitan area, so it was the effort of using multiple counties that may have different qualities than the other, but it gave you a regional look, because this is kind of the focus on everything, is let's go larger instead of smaller. Instead of trying to just be St. Genevieve and St. Genevieve County looking for stuff, you go into a larger focus. So there's been a website that's been up and running, but it hasn't been updated in years. So the idea right now is to update the website first to get the open properties, the available properties up and on there. St. Francis County has been footing the full bill, because at the first, it was 3 of the counties that said yes and 1 county said no. And now we've come through that first year. There's been a little bit of movement. They've hired Scott Sattler to be the Economic Development Director for this project. They've approached all the counties again. Madison, St. Francis, and Iron County's all said yes. However, St. Genevieve County has again said no. We don't have any economic development to speak of through the city. We don't have an economic development department. This is an opportunity potentially to at least get some of our information out there, to have some influence as to what's going on with this type of economic development. They've been going to conferences, state conferences, and presenting the Parkland Ready as a group. My question to the board is, would you want to spend money out of our general fund to sponsor St. Genevieve County and be a part of this? We would get a few hours from Scott Sattler each month to do some economic development for us. There's a lot more to it than just simply filling out some paperwork. There's a lot of just negotiations, and whenever there is something that comes across the desk of the Regional Planning Commission or any economic development director, they have to have everything together in about 4 days. So whenever you have a large corporation that says, we want to locate here, what do you got? You have to put all that together. So it's a lot of preparation work. So that's what you're looking at this point, is just getting that information together. It's lapsed from what we had in the past. So that was just this came across my desk. We have been invited to the meetings, and I think, that we feel like we're a part of that. And we are the major metropolitan city in St. Genevieve County. So we would benefit from another business going in as we have from others.
So you said the county has opted out of it again this year?
Yep.
So what we're looking at is the full amount that is allocated to St. Genevieve County.
It'd be the $5,153.86.
If the county knew that we were interested in participating, would that bring them back to the table?
So I talked to the presiding commissioner, and they just feel like their budget is as Alderman Fahey had brought up, they see a major deficit this year, and they don't feel that this is important.
That's scary.
We're facing quite a few ourselves. I mean,
But what's happening is, so we're having Perry County and St. Francis County and maybe even Iron and Madison County get all the representation from SEMO Regional Planning, from this Parkland RDI, and they're skipping right over St. Genevieve and St. Genevieve County. So by not being part of this, by not having our information up to date, developers are not looking at anywhere in St. John County because that information is not readily available. So to Happy's point, I think it's a wise decision to consider this. I don't know about for the full amount, but so often these businesses and developers and brokers are looking right past St. John County and St. John City because that information is not out there. If you look at how we tried to advertise for our development out there to try to get some activity there, people don't see it, and because it's not out there. And I think having SEMO Regional, I'm disappointed with the representation that we sometimes get from SEMO Regional and now probably from Parkland Ready. I didn't even know this group existed. So it shows you how much they've been proactive coming to us and asking us. Maybe it's just maybe one of the county commissioners, which is probably fine. And so, but I think this is something that the only thing that we're doing now is our new McDaniel's marketing plan through our tourism department is really the only economic development initiative that we have going on in St. John City and St. John County now, besides for tourism. So do I want to spend $5,000 for a website? I don't know. I probably need to see a little bit more, but I'm interested in knowing that Perry County and St. Francis County and some of these other ones aren't getting all the attention because all the staff is located there and they're getting all the attention. And when a lead comes in from a business, they're pushing them towards Perry and St. Francis County, and we're not getting any representation. So if we can get some representation on the board and go to the meetings and participate in this, I think it'd be a worthwhile thing to pursue.
Right.
Happy years ago, somebody was contributing to our tourism director to the tune of like $5,000 a year for economic development.
The county? The county gives us $5,000. Yeah, and that was what I was also going to bring up, is that the county does give us $5,000 a year. And we could look at that as being just a pass-through for something like this.
Oh, so they still do give.
Still do, yeah. Sure do.
This would obviously benefit the Chamber of Commerce. Would they have any interest in assisting as well?
Benefits everybody.
I mean, it benefits
I know,
everybody,
but
but whose responsibility is it? I don't know if it's a private business that is involved. I mean, what they want to do also is who's going to be the representative from that location. So at this point, it would be the city or the county that would be the representative.
I don't have a problem with it, but I thought if we could get more people involved on our end, it would lessen the bill for everybody, but
Well, what bothers me, Iron County, Madison County, St. Francis County, our county says no. I don't know if any of these other counties have city participation, but I don't know. To me, it's something we need to.
Is this a federally funded, this Parkland Ready Group? You said it's the Regional Rural Development Center, so that's federal,
Right.
correct?
Right.
So I don't want this to be the starting point for additional asks too. I'm assuming this is just for the website itself. So
This is website. No, this would be website and other activities that Scott could do for the county, city and county.
It's like belonging to a chamber. It's like belonging to an economic development forum. If you're not a part of their group, they're going to look right past you, and you're not going to get any looks.
I don't know if I agree with you. Look past you. I think they're still going to take into consideration what is here, property or, things to support something, has to be part of that formula and stuff. But I don't know that I put it all into the fact that it's a web-based thing, not physical also. Can we open any discussions with the county and any of the other parties?
I can ask. Yeah. I'm not opposed to that, but.
What are we doing with the $5,000 that the county is putting towards
tourism budget?
it goes in general fund. We assume it goes into tourism because that's our economic driver. It used to go directly, or was assumed to go directly to the tourism director who was also doing economic development at that time.
I just would like to see a little more discussion with the county. Was it strictly a financial move, or was the results not up to their expectations, I guess?
I don't think they felt I can't answer for the county. I'm not going to do that. I just know at the previous meeting, they had turned down joining it. All the counties actually had.
If they start spending additional funds when they're already stressed about shutting down certain services now, I think it looks pretty bad on their part. So I would guess that they're really reluctant to do any additional spending when they're having town hall meetings about shutting down services.
But it could be results also.
Well, it's a new group though, right? They just started it back up.
Yes, sir.
I guess my thoughts are, I think we should do it, but we should ask the county to step up and take a look at it again and say, even if it's like cutting off your hand because they're not having enough development in the county, sort of thing is to get out of development. It doesn't make sense. That would be a reasonable, small investment on them, especially if we went 50-50 on it. So I think we should reopen negotiate discussions with them, but in the end, we'd think that it'd be worth our investment.
So what I can do is try to get on their agenda for Monday and approach them if you're interested in, pursuing it with them.
So is this just a year-by-year agreement, or, right?
Well, I mean, do we get Bloomsdale and St. Mary's involved too, the other two cities in this area? I mean,
My feeling is that we need to spearhead this. We don't need to start branching out, trying to bring all these other entities into it. I think we need to be responsible for it because we will then have the right of negotiation of maybe making, planning for what happens in St. Genevieve County. And I know St. Mary's is hurting for funds as it is, so I don't think that's a possibility.
So it's something we could try for a year as St. John's spearing heading it, and then maybe into the second year ask for other involvement.
Yeah, then we can spread the wealth.
any concerns, Mark?
Me, no?
Okay. So what do you need?
I would like to get a voice vote on whether the board wants to, whether you want to pursue it and do it ourselves if we can't get participation, or if we have to get participation. So however you want to word that, or you want a motion for that. If you don't want me to pursue it, if I can't get anybody else to participate, then we'll drop it. But if I can't get participation, which this is a public vote, so they'll know what the board has, authorized me to do, then we would, either do it ourselves or do it with a partner.
Are there any unexpended allocations in the tourism budget that would help offset this?
Yes.
So
We have salaries that were not paid for the first 2 months of our budget year because we didn't have a tourism director. So yeah, we got those funds available.
okay.
We take that vote and we say we're ready to pursue it, even without participation. They're gonna just turn us down. Say, well, you just go. But anyway, but I would say we need to do it regardless. But if you can get a cost share from the county or to pursue that.
Is there a time frame? I didn't notice any deadline.
We're in the 9 months. I think we got, a few months to go, but they're trying to line up at this point,
Right.
everybody's participation. So I'd like to get it done before, I'd like to get it done before.
We also request a presentation from Scott to the board in the near future if we
because Jeremy offered to come in and talk about it as well. So yes, I can ask him if Scott will come in and give you some idea what he is. Now, is this before or after we make our commitment?
After,
Okay.
for myself.
Isn't our former tourism director involved in economic development for Southeast Missouri?
No. Oh, former, yes, yeah. She's the state.
That's the state.
Yeah.
And I see her a lot. I mean, does she ever give a report and see what they've done or why people are passing this by apparently as a county? We ever asked her what she does?
I haven't asked her any particulars, but she joins us at our DRPC meetings. So for all the counties, she's there to make presentations and say, here's what grants are available, here's what kind of, you know, what opportunities are coming up.
So you have a motion on the table, Joe, right?
Yes.
Got it.
Motion, I guess, to pursue at cost or cost share if possible.
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? So that brings us to real estate matters.
You made that motion?
Yep. Second.
Alderwoman Dobbs? Yeah. Alderman Fahey?
Yeah.
Alderman Donovan?
Yes.
Alderman Bennett? Alderman Eidman? Alderman Rainey?
Yes.
Alderman Prince?
Yes.
Alderman Steiger?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-11.
Yeah.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Adjourn.